my name is Unknown Frequency, and today I'm going to show you in my very first tutorial how to make a hardstyle kick drum entirely made in Reason 9.2. First off, I want to say a big shout out to Mr. Frontliner, who recently uploaded a hardstyle kick drum tutorial on 78910.com, which was the basis of my tutorial. I have to say that this video really gives so many detailed informations on about making a hardstyle kick drum, which you can also use in Reason to make your own kick drums, not just Logic or any VSTs. And yeah, this is my result. I'm not going to show you in detail how I made it. I'm just going to show you briefly how it's done. And you can find a download link of the project files in the description box. All you have to do is leaving a like on my Facebook page, and then you will be rewarded with the project files. Okay, let's get straight into it. First off, I created two MIDI tracks with the same bass drum in Rob Papen's rack extension Punch. The first one was entirely made for the punch of the kick. Let's listen to it. And to create this sound, I used the clipper distortion, then an equalizer which has a big boost around 500 Hz to give the kick drum its typical hard-stylish crunchy sound, and I cut it out the frequencies around 500 Hz to give the distortion a bit more room to breathe out. Then I added a low pass and a high pass filter, and after that a screen 4 distortion with the tube algorithm. Additionally, I added a new equalizer with the same thoughts, just boosting around 500 Hz and cutting out some frequencies around it, and a compressor just to smoothen the punch out. The second MIDI track was all about the tail. It has a long decay, and I used also the clipper distortion and all the same equalizer with the boost around 500 Hz and the screen 4 distortion with the tube algorithm. And after that I duplicated the signal and routed it through another equalizer, a Thor, and the digital delay line, and this was the result. The Thor unit I used for the shaper. I used the peak, and I used it for the attack and the amp envelope. After that I used the digital delay line just to create some phasing, which is really essential on hardstyle kicks, which gives the hardstyle kicks its typical wowie sound in its tail. Let's listen to it without it, and now with the digital delay line. Sounds much more interesting. And after that I bounced it out, duplicated the tracks just to separate the punch from the tail, and duplicated the tail so I can process it and use it for another phasing. The punch was just processed with a bit of equalizing and compressing to smoothen it out a bit, and the tail, the first tail I left alone, and the second one I equalized. I distorted it with the fallback distortion, and I equalized it again and distorted it with the pulverizer, and this is the result in the second step. Additionally, I forgot that I routed it through a bus where I distorted the whole signal and used the digital delay line to create some more phasing. Yeah, after that I bounced it out again and created 3 more audio tracks, 2 for a punch, the first for a short punch, the second for a longer punch, and 2 more for a tail and a second tail for phasing. And this is the result of the second processing step. both punches were made entirely the same. It was all about compressing and equalizing, and the first tail was equalized the same as the punch, and the second tail was a bit different. It got some distortion, some different equalizing, and yeah, that was all. After that I bounced the signal out and just used an equalizer to kill the frequencies around 3.6 kilohertz, which sounds like this. And I bounced it out again. Then I used 3 audio tracks, the first one for a punch, the second one for a mid tail, and the third one for an end tail. I used these three audio tracks to cut the kick a bit out and make it a bit shorter. Let's have a listen to this one. And I guess this was without any processing. Yep. Oh yeah, it had just a little bass enhancer and some equalizing and maximizing, but I'll come to that later. Okay, let's get into part 2. Part 2 has the kick drum, the last kick drum I bounced out in part 1, from part 1, and I shortened it out a bit more and killed more frequencies, which were around, let me have a look, around 806.2 kilohertz. I used the bass enhancer to give it a bit more hard bass, and I deleted the maximizer, which I used at the end, and used this mastering multiband dynamics for a multiband compression to tighten the kick out a bit more. Let's listen to this one. After that I bounced it again, created a standard bass drum which I used for the low end punch. It sounds like this. Because I used it because the Hardstyle Kickdrum didn't have so much low end punch as I liked it, and I processed it by giving the kick drum a bit more attack, shortened it out, and I filtered it a bit, which sounds like this. And then I added the kick drum. Let's listen to the kick drum again without the bass drum, and then with the bass drum. And with the bass drum now. After that I bounced it out, and I gave it final shaping with the equalizer, stereo imager to make the bass mono, and a maximizer to fatten it up a bit. And that's the final result. Yeah, I hope you liked it. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, or post it on Facebook or whatever, and follow me on SoundCloud and Facebook. See you next time.